Hi, everybody. Oh, okay. I will give people time. I know new day or back to the old day. Back to the old day and new time-ish, a little bit earlier, so that I can coordinate all this stuff that's happening in my life right now, you guys. Okay. I'm a little haphazard. I just got off a phone call, so give me a second to be here with you guys. Anyway, so I'm here with you guys. I am downstairs again because you guys, guess what? Guess what? So remember how I used to try to do live streams down here? Do we all remember that? And how awful everything was. The sound, the video, the whole deal. Oh, I am really a mess today, you guys. I apologize. We're just going to roll with the mess. So I finally nagged Antonio enough that we started calling the cable company and we started experimenting with having them come fix things, and they've replaced the wire to the house. And now Antonio, as the ex-IT person that he is, went and cabled me and hardwired my computer to our internet. So I am down in my office. My computer is hardwired. I am not on the Wi-Fi, and I am doing this live stream with you guys so that you can tell me if it's good. Is my connection good? I'm hoping to be able to teach with my new connection better and do all of our videos better. And so I'm experimenting, and I'm doing it down here for the bandwidth. I wanted to see if you guys, if doing the live stream on the hardwire would actually solve the problem that we were having all that time ago. So hence Becca's Backyard Live is not in Becca's backyard today. It's in Becca's office downstairs. I'll be back outside next week, but I really wanted to push the system here and see if I couldn't just like get it going. So here I am. We're getting it going, and it looks like, because I haven't had any complaints so far in chat, that it's working. Hooray. Oh, that'll be so wonderful. Well, as many of you guys who are watching know, I am in the midst of a lot of transitions right now. I've talked about it for the last few weeks. Last week or the week before, last week I missed you guys entirely because I was so whatever discombobulated. Last week actually was the day we bought the food truck. So let's talk about that. Let me catch you guys up on that because I haven't had a chance to catch you guys up on that. So first, the food truck situation. You guys wanted an update. So update on the food truck. So last week I missed live. Why? Because we were down in Denver purchasing the food truck, and everything took longer than expected because you're adulting with people who aren't autistic. Excuse me. That's my bitchiness a little bit about that. But I think autistics plan very well, and we prepare for a lot of scenarios, and I think non-autistics do not. And so that's where that comes from. So as prepared as Antonio and I was, the unexpected always happens, and there we were stuck down there. So I had two options. I could either attempt a really odd live stream while flustered down in Denver, or I could just tell you guys, I'm sorry, I got stuck and I couldn't make it. And I figured it was better to say that I couldn't make it than to not be like here, to not be mindful and here with us when I was doing the live stream. And so I chose to do that. And so I'm sorry for those of you who ended up waiting for me for a little bit or didn't see the post. I did my best to give you some notice. I'm sorry that I was late and all of that. But such is life, right? For some reason, I'm not seeing anything in live chat. Are you guys in there? Is it happening? I don't know. Whatever. I can't be concerned. So blah, blah. Where was I? All right. So adulting and the food truck. So now we have the food truck. I have shared some photos on the internet with our customers, but not yet with you guys. So I am going to do the thing. I'm going to pull it up on my phone so I can show it to you guys because I don't know how else to do that, especially on live stream. I have no idea, really. I know, Miriam, you're probably squirming in your seat if you're watching today, that I can't do any of these things. I'm sorry, but I just don't want, I haven't learned. And to me, I feel like a live stream should be me, like we're hanging out, like in real life. And if I was in real life with you guys, honestly, I'd be doing exactly this, going through my phone so I could show you the pictures. So I'm going to go through my phone and show you the pictures of the food truck because I'm super excited about it. So here she is. Can we all see? I'm nice and close. Kind of. She's a little foggy, fuzzy, buzzy, but there she is. And we are calling her Sammy, obviously. She is the Sammy truck. And we have a lot of work to do. So I've been wearing like 17 million hats, or at least that's how it feels. I've got my hat on for us because I have to work on the course. The course comes out tomorrow, right? And I've got this hat on because I'm coaching some people. And I've got this hat on because I'm writing some of the time. And then I've got another hat on over here because I'm doing the business end of the food truck stuff. And the other hat on over here where I'm trying to help get it ready and do some of the physical labor in the food truck. And then I'm doing some other things, right? I have other consulting work going on, another set of hats all over the place, right? It feels a little crazy. And I'm sure you guys are sitting there going, Beck, you always tell us not to overload. You always tell us not to overload, and we're going crazy watching you because we feel like you're going to burn out. And I say, you're right. I say you're on point. I say you should be thinking those things and you should be feeling those things because you're right. And this is what I wanted to talk about, right? It's a transition. So it's messy, right? The whole thing. I have to transition from one way of living, right? And move into the next. And with that, there's mess. And there's overload and there's mistakes and dropped things. And that happens. It happens to everybody who is trying to hold their head up high and walk through a transition with class, right? It happens. And so what I'm in that process of finishing up all of these things on one side of like the stuff that I do with autism and freeing up some of that time so that I can give it to the food truck. But they're happening simultaneously. So both things still need me. And so it still looks all overloady. But if you've been kind of following what I'm doing at all, you'll see all the tips and tricks that I give to you guys coming up in what I'm doing. So if you watched last week, I did the farewell episode of Neurodiversity Newsstand, right? Because I have to let it go. It takes me a good 2 hours behind the scenes of Newsstand to get it ready, to get it up, to get it uploaded and shared in the graphic and all of that stuff, right? It takes a good 2 hours. And there's the time recording. There's the time I have to set aside to decide what I'm going to talk about and to figure all that out. And it takes a lot of spoons to do Newsstand. And the reality is the news world is different. We're not talking about the things we were talking about with the intensity with which we were concerned about it prior to a global pandemic. And so I have to respond. As somebody who needs to clear their plate a little, I have to look at what are the things that I'm doing that provide me income? What are the things that I'm doing for free? Of those things, what can I afford to let go of the paying things? And what can I afford to let go emotionally and spiritually from the free things that I'm doing? And in looking at that, I had to say goodbye to Newsstand. You guys, the viewership wasn't going up, it was going down. People weren't talking about news. I can see in Neurodiversity Newsstand, the groups, the conversations are dropping, the posts are dropping. And that means that as a group, we just don't want to focus on that right now. We have other things that we're needing to focus on. Our priorities have shifted as a community, right? And I have to respond to that. And I have to make sure that my life is also still in alignment. So in doing all these checks and balances through this transition, it looks messy. I look overloaded. I look like a slightly crazed person with many hats on because that's exactly what's happening. And it's still something that has to happen. It's not something I can't walk through. Right? I have to clean up my mess before I can start a new mess over there, right? And so it's sort of that idea. What are the things that I'm going to be letting go? And what are the things that I'm going to be holding on to? And that line is really clear for me. It's just a matter of doing that part correctly, like doing a farewell episode of Newsstand and making that decision official, right? As sad as I was, because I really love doing Newsstand. And I love that it was the first one of kind of my YouTube series that everybody kind of liked and was on board with. So I'm excited for that, but I'm sad to see it go. I mean, I did 60 something episodes of Newsstand. That's crazy. I did it for over a year straight. And all of a sudden now the news has changed. And no matter how I'm shifting with it, it doesn't feel like it fits anymore. It doesn't feel like it's part of my priorities anymore. And so as I'm doing that, I have to remember to let stuff go. Right. So I did that with Newsstand. I'm doing it with a few other things. And so what I wanted to do is say, first, I'm sad to see it go also, but it's necessary. I'm doing it really because I need to save myself. And I know I will disappoint others, but taking care of me, it always has to come first, right? It's what I teach you guys. So it's what I have to live. It's what I choose to live because I know it works. And so goodbye to Newsstand, because in its place are coming 2 monthly things that I've added on. And I wouldn't have the energy to do those new 2 things if I didn't get rid of something over there. So I am doing 2 Autistics Talk Money with Andrew Camaro, the Casey Spark meetup we are doing. And then I will be uploading our live video here on YouTube for you guys. So you don't have to catch it there. And unless you want to catch it live, otherwise you can catch up with it here as a YouTube series. Same thing happening with what I'm working on with Doug Bletcher. I am working on a podcast called The Info Dump Files, where we're going to focus on autistic interests and have a really fun conversation with autistics about the not so serious stuff. We're going to be not so serious on Info Dump Files. And we're going to be doing that on Zoom. So Doug's going to take that audio and he's going to do his magic and make it into a beautiful podcast. And I am going to take the behind the scenes video and I'm going to throw it up here on YouTube for you guys, right? And so I'm bringing that stuff to you for taking away Newsstand, right? You see the balance? You see it? I'm creating it, but there's overlap. So it's a little crazy right now. You understand that part, right? So I have to live through the crazy to see the benefit of making the switch. So I'm living through the crazy right now. And then I'm going to be really, I think, limiting what I do in terms of engagement with our community to the stuff that surrounds the stuff in the course, to the self-defined living mentality. I am going to be pushing that work forward, working on the course and making it better, offering it live a couple of times a year, leaving it there for those who don't want to watch it live to purchase, and just kind of working off of that. I want to build a workbook for us. There are things that I want to see the course grow into, and that means I have to let go of some of the other stuff. So some of the other writing that I was doing, that I was sort of pitching out there, I've been doing a lot of podcast interviews, not going to be able to do so many of those anymore. Things like that, I have to be kind of cutting out. So I've been searching my life for the things that I'm ready to let go of, that their time is over, to make space for the new stuff that's coming, to make space for the ideas that are in here that I want to get out, and all of that. And so it's a tough process and it's exhausting. And I'm sure you guys can see it, but I, on my side, I'm already through the worst of it. I can tell you that for sure. I am through the hard parts. I am definitely still tired from it. I'm definitely still kind of my schedule is still kind of wonky from moving days and all of that stuff. But it'll clear up and I can see on my calendar already the change, right? I can see the difference between what was happening and what's happening in September, and what October looks like. So I know it's going to be okay. And I know it's going to be better. I just have to get through here. And in that thought process of needing to get through here, right, through the now, I thought, well, what am I going to do to get myself through it? And that's our topic for today. What to do to get ourselves through it. And the immediate thought that I had was, get back to basics, Becca. Get back to basics. And that means focusing on my mindfulness. I'm focusing on unit 1, essentially, right? The stuff in unit 1, my mindfulness. I need to practice the pause. I need to make sure I'm doing all of these things. I have to make sure I'm checking in with my sensory all the time, that I'm checking in with my body for exhaustion, because I know I'm spread out real thin and that I barely have the spoons I need each day, right? And that's not a sustainable way to be. So on the days that I am not in that reality, I need to get back to basics. Make sure the house isn't falling apart. Make sure my laundry is getting done, my dishes. Make sure I'm showering. Make sure I'm eating right. Make sure that I am still making decisions in alignment with my goals. Making sure that I am still doing my self-care. Making, like all of that stuff that I talked to you about in unit 1, creating my bubble, making sure the people in my bubble are still right, making sure I'm taking care of my bubble people in the right way, right? Because I need them as I travel through this part, this unavoidable part of transition, which is the mess. How to get through the mess? Go back to basics. On the day when you are not drowning in the mess, or make time in the days you are drowning in the mess to do your self-care, to make sure that the basic things you need to do are getting done. Make sure you have a nice solid morning routine in there, because without a morning routine, your entire day falls apart, right? Even if that morning routine is watching Netflix for 2 hours to get yourself awake, whatever it is, make sure you're doing it with by choice. Make sure you are choosing the right things to get yourself through the tough part. So it's first being aware you're going to be in a tough part, understanding it's temporary, knowing what you have to do to take care of yourself in that temporary, right? And getting through it, because it'll end. You can see the end. You know there will be an end, right? That's why you're traveling through the mess, is to get through that transition. Right. And then on the other side of that messy transition is what it is that you're looking to reach. Right. It's that other stuff. So you will get there. You'll be you will be tired when you get there, but you will get there. Right. The whole purpose is to not be burnt out when you get there. And in order to do that, you need to return to basics. You need to constantly, through that mess, be checking in with your basics. Are you doing the basic things that you need to do for your own mental health and well-being? Make sure that you are. And if you're not, if that's falling through the cracks, either build it in or know that when it's over, you need to take some time off and do that stuff, right? Because the depletion has to be recharged or you won't recover. And what's the point of getting there, right? What's the point of reaching your goal or one of your goals if you can't enjoy it when you get there? Gosh darn it, I want to enjoy it when I get there. So I have to do these things. I have to make sure I'm drinking water. I have to make sure I'm eating. I have to make sure I'm sleeping, those basics. I have to make sure I'm taking my meds. I have to make sure I'm taking my vitamins. I have to make sure that I'm getting outside. I'm spending time in the fresh air. All of the stuff that I preach to you about all the time, I turn on myself and say, you are in this mess, but you cannot let this handful of things go. You need this handful of things to keep your sanity. And so if other things have to wait an extra day, or if you have to miss a live stream, right? You have to hang on to those important basics. And that is my message for today. That is what I want to share with you guys in our live stream today is make sure you're checking in regularly with your basics. And when you start to feel off or everything feels like it doesn't fit anymore, make sure you go back to them. Are you doing them? Do they need to change? What am I doing to take care of myself? Am I making the time? All of that. You need to check in when everything starts to feel weird, and know that I do that too. All of these years later, I am still using that very simple technique to get myself through an uncomfortable transition. And I want that for you guys. I want you to feel like I feel walking through a transition, which is that it sucks. I'm tired. There are hard days. There's crap involved in it that I don't want to do. Some days I feel like I'm not going to make it, but I can see the end, and I know there will be an end. And I just need to take care of myself through this difficult time. And if I take care of myself through the difficult time, taking care of myself in the good time will be easier, right? That is the whole process. That's what happens. And it's a cycle, because once I get to there, another transition is going to come up. Another thing is going to happen, something out of my control, whatever it might be. But that's why we keep that flexibility at the bottom of the building, because I don't want to get to my goals and then be in cement. I don't want to get stuck there either. I want to always have the opportunity to grow, and I always want to have the opportunity to be flexible in response to the unexpected. And so I leave that flexibility. Like, I know I'm going to get there. It'll be better. There's things I don't know about yet that will happen, but I will get through now. And so being here in the present and not fucking things up in the present because I'm so messed up about the future because of this transition, right? No, not going to let that happen. Staying here in the present because I love my present. Even though I'm having crappy days, I still love the present that I built. And so I want to stay here, and I need it to stay healthy. And so I have to still do that cultivating, I guess is the right word, of my present in order for the future to be as good as it's going to be, right? I can give it some attention, but I can't predict everything. But what I can do is respond in the present to what's going on now. So this is my response in the present. I feel like poo. I'm going through a transition. I'm a mess, right? I'm a giant old mess. But I'm here, and I'm alive, and I'm breathing, and I still want to be here, and I still want to be here tomorrow. I just need to get through it, right? And that means some messy days, messy here, messy all over. But the end product isn't going to be messy. The end product is going to be this beautiful thing that I have been messy trying to make, right? And so that's the process. That's the journey. And I wanted to share where I'm at with it and remind you guys that on a regular basis, you should be checking in with the basics, reminding yourself what those are, reminding you what those the important ones are in there for yourself, and kind of remembering to check in, right? Remembering the mindfulness, remembering the basic things you need to feel good, remembering how much sleep you need, all of those things, right? That's part of the whole picture of us learning to grow into our autism, right? And growing into it means these transitions. It just does. And I am uncomfortable. I'm comfortable in my discomfort, right? And that's all I ever want for you guys. And that's how I'm feeling. It doesn't take away the overload. It doesn't take away the exhaustion. It doesn't take away that my plate's a little full right now. But what it does mean is that once I get past the full plate, once I get past clearing it off, it will all be digestible and I will still be standing. And that's what I want for me, for you, for all of us adult autistics, is that comfortable resilience, right? We want to be comfortable in the resilience. That's all. And that's what I want for you. That's my wish for you today, is comfortable resilience. My wish for you today are little bits of joy. And just know that whatever you're going through, it's going to end. There is always an end. And it's all about how you get through it, and getting through it with class, and getting through it with the ability to take care of yourself, and not feeling, and getting through it without feeling ashamed about how you're getting through it. That's what I wish for you guys. And that's what I'm working towards. So that's our live stream for today, you guys. I'm sorry I'm downstairs again. I will be outside next week. Again, this is our new time, Tuesdays at 11, because I now teach at 12. So this is our new time, Tuesdays at 11 a.m. for our support group, kind of Becca's Backyard live stream thing that we do. I love our time together, you guys. Thank you for letting me take the 20 minutes to process through what I'm going through. And hopefully my sharing helps you guys to process through where you're at. All right, you guys, I will not see you on Friday for Neurodiversity Newsstand, but I will see you next Tuesday for a live stream again. And coming on September 23rd, the premiere is already up on YouTube, is the very first episode of Info Dump Files. So yay! That will be coming on YouTube, and following shortly in October, I will be adding into Autistics Talk Money. I am contemplating another simple something on Fridays, because I will miss Newsstand. I will miss having that second contact with you during the week. So I'm trying to think of some ideas for that. So if you have any ideas for me, or you hated this live stream, or you loved this live stream, let me know in the comments. Let me know with a thumbs up or thumbs down. Email me directly at info@beccalaurie.com. And for those of you that are registered for Unit 3, it is coming tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Unit 3 on its way. We will close up with the course, and I will give you guys big congratulations. I promise. I'm proud of you for walking through it with me. And yeah, so that's it. That's tomorrow. And then I will be offering, once again, the course will be out and recorded, and you can purchase all 3 units at that point. And I will be having scholarship seats for that, so that you can purchase the whole course at once with a scholarship. And you will also be getting discounts and new packages, and things will be happening behind the scenes that I will be making the course available. So stay tuned to my social media, or head over to my website, which is beccalaurie.com, and that's Lory. All right, that's it for me, SDLers. Thank you so much for joining me for the live stream, for following me in all my hippie hoppy journeys, and kind of getting through this transition with me, and kind of going through it with me. So I appreciate it. I will see you guys next live stream. Have a good one. I'll see you out on the interwebs. Create joy, share joy, be joyous. That's it, I guess. I'll see you soon. Bye.